but the company had an unwritten rule of not selling its cars to black customers.
What's the story, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out something I think is very interesting. This is why do black folks love Cadillacs? Why? Why do you guys in America love Cadillacs? We don't have Cadillac in the UK. I don't think I've ever seen one. But in movies, I'm only seeing a lot of black people driving or talking about Cadillacs. So yeah, let's learn about more black history. Let's go.
For African Americans, Cadillacs were not just a popular brand, but they became a symbol of success and pride. And as it turns out, Cadillacs didn't become a fan favorite of African Americans by accident. During the beginning of the 20th century, cars began to enter the American landscape. During that period, car makers started to pop up all over the place. In 1903 alone, 57 companies were established, but shortly thereafter, 27 of them went bankrupt. Cadillac, though, is one of the oldest and longest surviving brands in automotive history, having entered the market as General Motors' luxury brand in 1903. The brand was almost an immediate success and quickly developed a reputation for excellence in the automotive community because of their design and engineering. And, of course, they didn't sell to black people. Cadillac was General Motors' top of the line and most expensive product, but the company had an unwritten rule of not selling its cars to black customers. But the Great Depression started to devastate the automotive market. Luxury manufacturers such as Cadillac faced a substantial decline in sales. In 1928, General Motors produced 1,700,000 vehicles, with 41,000 of them being Cadillacs. But by 1933, the production had dropped to just 780,000 vehicles, with only 7,000 of them being Cadillacs. That is the decline of 84%. And as the economy began to downturn, so did affluent white consumers. GM's executive committee would gather together in a meeting to make a decision on the future of the Cadillac division, who was losing so much money that they had plans to close the division down. Unexpectedly, Nicholas Drysdale, who was uninvited and in charge of GM's service department nationwide, knocked on the door and asked if he could just be heard for 10 minutes. The executive committee granted his request. Drysdale stated that he had a plan to make Cadillac profitable in 18 months. While traveling around the country and visiting different service departments, he had observed a significant number of African Americans in the service department at Cadillac dealership. They were members of the small African American elite, boxers, entertainers, lawyers, doctors, ministers, but they were not allowed to buy a new car in the showroom. Drysdale found out that blacks were paying white frontmen $300 to purchase the cars for them. He asked the question, why should these men get several $100s to profit that should go to General Motors? So he proposed a radical idea to target the African-American elite by marketing a special Cadillac for them. He believed that it would be an important step towards Cadillac becoming a profitable business. By targeting the African-American elite, he could increase their presence in the luxury market and build a relationship with a new customer base. Drysdale urged the executive committee to go after the African-American market, or at least allow them to come into the showroom. GM would accept Drysdale's suggestion, and he would play a major role in the increased sales of Cadillac during the 1930s. While the Great Depression was still in full swing, in 1934, Cadillac sales rose 70%, leading to GM to sell enough vehicles to make the Cadillac division break even that year. Furthermore, from 1933 to 1941, sales increased from 6,000 units to 66,000 units. That is an increase of almost tenfold. So on June 10th of 1934, Drysdale was promoted to general manager of the Cadillac division. Now, Drysdale's initiative ending their racist sales policy in the 1930s apparently did not carry over to Cadillac's market.
Sorry, this reminds me of what's the car that most young black people drive today? It's very quick. What's it called? Like, it's causing a lot of accidents. Like, it's a very, very quick car. It's not a Mustang. It looks like a Mustang. What's it called? Charger. Dodge Charger. Yep. Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger. Are those cars, were they being sold to a lot of black people back in the 80s? Were there black people driving Dodge in the 80s, 90s, maybe 70s, 80s, 90s? I don't think so. I think they must have declined in sales again, and then they kind of just market it towards black people. And I feel like a lot of black people are buying them. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But that's what I've noticed. Let me know what you guys think about that. But yeah, that just came to mind when I'm looking at this. But that's so crazy that black people weren't allowed. Obviously, it's not like a law, but it's more like if you go in, they'll find an excuse not to sell it, I'm guessing. That's crazy. I think it's the same thing with some clubs. So, maybe it's a golf club or a social club. Because sometimes they feel like once they let a non-white person in, that they're not top anymore. That reminds me when I watch Sanford and Son. Was it Sanford and Son? No, not Sanford and Son. The other one. What's it called? Jefferson's. I watched it scene where the guy was invited to, Mr. Jefferson was invited to a swimming club. It's swimming or golfing club, whatever. He was invited, and the black person that walked there was like, "You do know they're using you as a token to make them look no racist. They don't like." But that's crazy. I've never really experienced that personally myself in my life where I wasn't allowed to be part of a club of it. But it does. You can tell. You can tell if they don't want black people there. They're not gonna say it. But you know. Only you have to be black to understand. Yeah, let's continue. Let me know if you guys agree with me or not.
Marketing division. Sales policy in the 1930s apparently did not carry over to Cadillac's marketing division. The division wanted dealers to stop turning away black customers, but it did very little to actually attract them. With the resurgence of the economy in the post-World War II era, Cadillac's print and television advertisements during that period continued to define excellence as white. This exclusionary advertising would extend all the way to the 1970s, with Cadillac portraying a world of glamour and excellence that only comprised of white people. But Cadillac wasn't the only one, because most automotive manufacturers during that time had advertisements that were completely white during the same time.
Sorry. Watching this kind of videos just makes you think, oh my God, something just came to my head just there. That's mad. I think the same thing is happening right now with Range Rover. Jaguar, Range Rover. Jaguar, Land Rover, Range Rover. Because lately, I've been noticing on my Instagram, follow me on Instagram, EDDYCHEEEE Travels, to see my travels. I travel to Scotland almost every 2 weeks, exploring amazing places. But I've realized Jaguar, Land Rover, Range Rover, they've been sponsoring a lot of black people lately to promote their cars. They want the black audience. Because Range Rover in the UK is seen as a luxury car. It's a car that you don't see your average person driving. It's a car that if you're driving a Range Rover, you're either a footballer, a doctor, a lawyer, you're over 30. You don't see, if you're under 30, probably your parents bought it for you. It's a very expensive car. It's not just expensive buying, it's maintaining it. The insurance, because it gets stolen easily because, I don't know, the mechanics of it. But I've noticed lately, most of Range Rover campaigns, I wish they could reach out to me. I do love it. See, I want a Range Rover. I do want a Range Rover. I think they've got me. I do want a Range Rover. Let me know, do you guys like Range Rovers or Land Rovers or Jaguar? I like those kind of cars, those kind of big off-road cars, because I love exploring. So I like to be, I want a car that's going to be able to go through rough areas. Yeah, let me know what you guys think.
Time period. Additionally, individual car dealers maintain a significant degree of control over their showroom. According to renowned automotive journalist Warren Brown, his mother was unsuccessful in her attempt to purchase a new Cadillac from a dealership in New Orleans in the 1960s. However, she would ultimately be able to acquire her desired car, a 1965 Coupe de Ville, from a white man in a different location. Cadillac's diversity in marketing division served as a model for other divisions of General Motors and other automotive companies. This trend was primarily motivated by money more than morality. So that's how Cadillac became the first luxury car brand to intentionally market to black consumers. And in this case, Cadillac's acknowledgement literally saved them from bankruptcy. Martin Luther King used to carry a weapon and even applied for a concealed handgun permit. In January of 1956, after his house was firebombed, Dr. Martin Luther King applied to the local sheriff for a concealed handgun permit. However, he was denied on the grounds that he was deemed unsuitable. Family members and friends were concerned for King's safety and urged him to hire a bodyguard or at least an armed watchman. But after a meeting with Bayard Rustin to show his support for the Montgomery bus boycott, the meeting would forever change King and the civil rights movement. King had read the philosophy of pacifism, but he had not yet embraced it into his life. When Bayard Rustin arrived in Montgomery, Dr. King and Coretta owned a gun. But Bayard Rustin's influence encouraged them to reconsider and accept pacifism as a way of life. King came to the realization that it would be hypocritical for him to carry a weapon even for his own protection, stating, "How could I serve as a leader of a nonviolent movement and at the same time use a weapon of violence for my own protection?"
I used to think like that. But one thing I've learned in life over the last probably like year or two is never assume everyone thinks like you. And my girlfriend tells me that my closest friend Tyler, that's one thing they always tell me. Because I'm the kind of person that if I'm walking on the streets and I see 5 older people, I don't care if they're black or white, and if they look dangerous, like I know there's a 80% chance if I keep walking down this road, they might try to rob me. But I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm the person that I'll still walk through, just not to stereotype. And then when I get robbed, I'll be like, oh, it's not. I'll find a way I'll find an excuse for them. But one thing I've learned is that I'm always thinking that people have the same way, same ethics as me, same beliefs, like same way of thinking. But never assume that. There's some messed up people out there. Some messed up people out there. Obviously, be kind, be nice, but just know everyone thinks like you. And once you learn that, it's like, you're not gonna be disappointed. Like when people disappoint me, like, oh, it's okay, you're different. Now I know not to assume. Like if I borrow someone money and they say they're gonna pay me back, in the past, I'm like, oh yeah, they're definitely gonna pay me back. Now, I don't expect to get it back. If I get it back, oh, that's nice. But if I don't get it back, it is what it is. Don't think people are just like you. Sorry for derailing, but let's get back.
Harry Laflin was a proponent of the eugenics movement and wrote the Model Eugenical Sterilization Law, which passed in Virginia on the same day as the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. This law allowed for the forced sterilization of individuals in state institutions under the assumption that it would be beneficial for them and for society. Concurrently, the Racial Integrity Act required the Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics to document the race of each newborn and made it illegal for white and non-white partners to wed. Collectively, these laws were meant to purify the white race. Eugenics was derived from the Greek word well and born, and it was a philosophical term of selective breeding.
What is this? This channel is a gem. I've learned so much in the last 5 minutes. What? I know this kind of stuff is not popular on YouTube, but if you guys like this kind, please give it a like right now, and comment for me to keep watching. I like this kind. It's very educational. I love it. What?
It strives to remove undesirable qualities by hindering certain people from having children. Sir Francis Galton generated the term in 1883, portraying eugenics as the study of the influences that can advance or damage the hereditary qualities of future generations physically and mentally. As eugenics gained widespread support in the United States at the beginning of the 20th century, many states began to authorize doctors to forcibly sterilize their patients. When the Supreme Court upheld Virginia's eugenical sterilization law in Buck v. Bell in 1927, Virginia's law became the model of the rest of the country and facilitated the forced sterilization of more than 60,000 men and women nationwide. Virginia's law later was co-opted by Germany during World War II and was relied upon as a precedent for their race purity programs. After World War II, eugenical theory was heavily criticized, but the sterilization programs persisted long after the end of World War II. Thank you. I'm your host, Country Boy. This has been One Mic History. I'm going to continue with this mini-series, and if you have questions...
I don't even know how we got there, but I'm glad we did. The last 2 minutes, I'm like, what is going on? But it's just so much amazing information. These are stories that if we don't talk about it, like it's good to learn from it. As just don't push it. Learn from it so it doesn't happen again. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys want to see more stuff, please like, comment down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.